Bend the knee.
Valamogolis, everybody. This is Don Willie back again for another Ice and Fire Opinions. And as you can see today, I'm going to be talking to you about Lord Bolton himself, Ramsay Bolton. Now, this is a pretty interesting one. You know, this character who's still alive in the books, but dead in the show, and probably gonna die in pretty similar fashion. And it's kind of crazy to think that this is somebody who, in both the books and the show, was played down just a little bit, and not even really that he was just played down, but it was the way that he was introduced. It's not a thing of him, like, he wasn't introduced with great fanfare. He comes in under the radar and he causes all kinds of havoc once you find out who he is. And so I do want to get into his character, and man, oh man, we're going to talk about him. But first, I want to give shout outs to people in the chat right now. We got my man, the Boy Wonder from Toronto, Canada. We got Misha Houston. We got my man, Ricky Hunt, was popping, Hail Hydra. My boy, Sir LT Giles, Hype Swatch, and Sean Land. Alright? And if there's anybody else in the chat, say what up, because else I'm not going to know that you're here, right? And so this one, you know, is pretty interesting in terms of him, you know, being a character he started off as somebody who was underrated. Now, you know, for me, being a show watcher, I got to know about him in the show first before the books. And shout out to Donna Krakenwit who just showed up. And seeing him in the show, and apparently I just got a new subscriber. Thank you. I didn't even get to see who it was. I wasn't looking at that screen at the moment. But you know, I'm trying to think about, like, when he gets introduced, I'm trying to think about how to put this. Like, he's introduced kind of almost as like a servant, right? So, you know, when Ramsay is getting held up by the Bolton soldiers inside the Dreadfort, you see this dude who comes over and he's like, "Oh, do you need something?" You know, he's treating him kind. You know, let me loosen these restraints for you. You know, and he's trying to get into Theon's good graces and gain his trust. And it's just one of those things where it's like the way that he does it, you know, is so sneaky. And then, like, he lets Theon free. And then when Theon is escaping, he's like, all right, cool. He gets captured by the Bolton men. The Bolton men are, you know, about to rape him. Ramsay kills the dudes, and then it's like, all right, I'm gonna get you out of here. I'm gonna get you to another castle where you can get free. And then the next thing you know, he's right back in the Dreadfort. Now, in the books, totally different situation. You know, he pretended to be Reek. And hold on one moment. Misha, yeah, I'm gonna get to questions in a little bit, so hold the questions until we get to about the halfway point. You know, when you see the chat box pop up, on the screen, that's when you'll know that's the questions. Because I want also the people who are going to watch this later to also see the questions as well. Okay, so not avoiding you, just that's kind of the way that I've been doing this so far. But in the books, it's done totally different because instead of the Ironborn just abandoning Theon, what happens is Ramsay pretends to be Reek. Like, for those of you who have only watched the show and never read the books, super spoiler alert. So, in the books, there is an original Reek. We don't meet the original Reek. Ramsay trades places with him because, they're getting reports of Ramsay doing all kinds of crazy foul shit around the north. And when Ramsay figures out that the Northern Lords are out to get him, he decides to trade places with the original Reek. The original Reek gets killed. Ramsay gets captured, pretends to be Reek. Bran and company escape, or at least they, it's thought that they escaped. Ramsay comes up with the idea to kill the two Miller's boys and say that the bodies are Bran and Rickon. And then later on, when when Theon finds out that that there's a force that's coming to take back Winterfell, Ramsay tells Theon, "Hey, if you give me a bag of gold or a bag of silver, it was like, just give me some money, I can go and get 200 men to hold down the castle for you." So the whole time, Theon is thinking that this person is Reek. And when Ramsay comes back, he's got on, all the Bolton regalia. And he's got all the Bolton regalia on. And he comes and he basically takes Theon and knocks him out. And in the books, that is the last time we see Theon until he becomes Reek. In the show, we see the whole torture and the process of how Ramsay was able to break down Theon to get him to be Reek. And one big difference with the way that they did it is, like, they show the whole thing with Theon basically developing Stockholm syndrome to the point where Ramsay is able to tell him, "Hey, give me a shave. How dare you let me look unclean in front of my father?" And as Theon is shaving Ramsay, Ramsay gives him the news about Robb Stark getting killed at the Red Wedding. And, Ramsay has such faith in his breaking process, in the process of him breaking down Theon, that he's like, "Look, yeah, I can tell him this, and this dude is not going to cut me or do anything to me. That's how good I am at my job." And, in the books, he's just as sadistic, he's just as crazy, and in fact, he might even be more crazy. So, jumping way ahead right now, there's obviously in the show, there is the scene of Ramsay raping Sansa on their wedding night. And as horrific as that was, it was actually worse in the books. So for any of you out there who don't want to be spoiled about Ramsay's brutality in the books, if you haven't read it, you might want to check out now, because I'm going to go into, not super graphic detail, but I'm going to go into detail about what happens. So first off, in the book, Ramsay does not marry Sansa. He marries Jane Poole, who is a friend of Sansa, who the Boltons and the Lannisters are playing off to be. They're playing her off to be Arya Stark. So on their wedding night, first off, forget about Theon watching. Theon is made to join in. And also, and this is absolutely disgusting. Ramsay is like the most disgusting human being on the planet. Also, his dogs are made to join in. And I don't even want to get any more detail. You let your mind go where it's gonna go with that. But yeah, goddamn, disgusting. Just to say the least, absolutely 100% disgusting. So we have, the torture of Jane Poole. We have the torture of Theon Greyjoy, and also women that he has tortured and eventually killed. It's like, hey, if I like how you died, I'm gonna name a dog after you. Like, what kind of crazy shit is that? Like, if I like the way that you died, I'm gonna play all these sick, twisted games with you and torture you and do all this crazy, Jeffrey Dahmer kind of shit to you. And if I think you died well, if I think you did a good job of dying, then I am going to name a dog after you. But if you did a bad job of dying, then I'm just gonna feed you to the hounds or whatever may have you. Yeah. Oh man. Oof. Man. Oh man. And shout out to Tyrion Jr. Landstark who just joined us. Man, like the more and more I think about this dude, like the more like I don't understand how you get any more absolutely just terrible of a person than this guy is. Now we have many villains in the world of Ice and Fire. Tywin, definitely a villain. Littlefinger, definitely a villain. Euron Greyjoy, pretty much any Greyjoy, sorry Kraken, but the Greyjoys are fucking villains. No heroics about the goddamn Greyjoys whatsoever. You know, uh, Obviously the Mad King, but we don't see the Mad King firsthand. Jaime Lannister, a villain, for a lot of it. Cersei, villain for all of it. Joffrey, a villain for all of it. And each one of them have their own thing that they do that is just like, oh my god, like what a horrible person. But this guy takes it to the next level. So let's take it to I believe it's Lady Hornwood. Her husband died, and Theon forces her to marry him, so that their lands, because the Hornwood lands bordered the Bolton lands, and also they bordered another like I forget it, like maybe the Umbers or something like that. I forgot exactly who it was that they bordered, but basically he got there first, forced her to marry him, and then basically starved her to death, to the point where, like, I think when she got found, she was missing 3 fingers because she got so hungry that she wound up eating her fingers. Like, what kind of absolutely just abysmal fucked up human being do you have to be for you to do that to another human being? And like, a lot of these people are based off of real life human beings. I don't know what actual person he would be based off of. I mean, maybe there is some parallel of someone who just absolutely tortured people for fun. If there is, I don't particularly know yet. I mean, if you're talking about medieval history, again, we could probably think of some people in today's time. Jeffrey Dahmer comes to mind. Yeah, and I don't even know who else, but yeah. So it was Lady Hornwood. It was, yeah. Thank you, Misha Houston. Yeah, it was Lady Hornwood. Sometimes, like, listen, I get the show and the books confused sometimes with the freaking names and all that. So, thank you for making sure I got that one straight. Um, man, and shout out to OTDA. You must have changed your name because I'm not exact. Like, I don't recognize that name, but you have a wrench, so you are a moderator. So I'm not sure who you used to be, but thank you for popping in. But oh, the Tyrion Junior Landstark says Caligula. Yeah, I guess Caligula. You could say. What was the other Roman emperor who did really fucked up shit to a lot of people? Shout out to Kat who just joined. Um, I don't know. Damn. Oh, David Adams. David Adams. What's good, man? David, we need to talk. Seriously, seriously, we need to talk. But Nero. That was the other one I was thinking about. You had Caligula, you had Nero, Commodus, you know, um those three right there, like when you think about Roman emperors who did horrible things to human beings on the level of a Ramsay Bolton. Yeah, all right, so what the funny thing is though, man, and as much shit as I've given Dan and Dave about things that they have fucked up on in the show, I think not only did they get the spirit of Ramsay right, but as messed up as this might sound, there was actually one point where I was, kind of like, yes, when it comes to Ramsay, and I'll explain. Roose Bolton spent a lot of time dressing down Ramsay and telling him how he was a fuck up and I'm gonna disinherit you if I have a son and all this other shit, right? So I believe it's season 5, like the beginning of season 5 and maybe the end of season 4, when Roose Bolton comes and they're in the north. Ramsay presents him with the flag. I think it's the Winterfell flag or whatever, to show like, hey, Winterfell is ours or whatever. And Roose gives him the decree that's like, yeah, you're no longer a bastard, you're now my legitimate son by royal decree. And for like a split second I was like, yo, yes, he did that shit. And then I thought about it, I was like, wait, oh, holy shit! Like, how the hell did I wind up just rooting for Ramsay, even for a second? And like, I'll say that is the genius of this story, because even for 1 second, if they can get you to root for somebody that you should always hate, you got to give them credit if they're able to do that, even for 1 second. And so, yo, man, but let's go back to the real fucked up shit that he's done. So in the books, apparently, it's been speculated, and I'm pretty sure at some point it will be confirmed. He had an older half brother who was Roose Bolton's legitimate heir named Domeric. Domeric found out about Ramsay, decides to hit him up, and was like, "Hey, we're brothers. We should be cool. We should hang out. You know, go to Molestown, do all the fly shit." And apparently, the speculation is right now that Ramsay killed him in order to be the one and only heir of Roose Bolton. Roose suspects this, and right now he's like, "Hey, if I have any kids with Walder Frey, this dude's probably gonna wind up killing them. Boy or girl, he's gonna probably wind up killing them." So that's the real crazy shit right there. And then like we see what happened in the show where he takes over, kills his pops, and Walder is like, "Where's your father? Where's Lord Bolton?" "I am Lord Bolton." And feeds her and a son to his hounds. Like, yo, that dude right there. Like, there is like the man has no redeeming qualities. And then, when you talk about the whole Rickon situation, he kills Rickon, which we can't be surprised about that. Can't be surprised about that at all. But then the whole thing with the Battle of the Bastards, where he's trying to do the double envelopment move, where he goes and he kills his own men just to be able to track Jon Snow's forces, just to be able to trap the other Northern Lords who are against him. He slaughtered a bunch of his own men, and you gotta be a really twisted son of a bitch to do something like that, because these are the people who are fighting for you, who are dying for you, who probably are thinking, okay, maybe when the battle is over, if I've killed somebody, if I killed one of these highborn dudes, or maybe if I was able to capture Jon Snow or whatever may have you, maybe I could get me some kind of reward. And their reward was they got slaughtered by their own liege lord. And there's big speculation of whether or not in the books he will wind up killing Roose Bolton. And yeah, I think he will. I don't think it will be I don't think it will be as sudden, like, "Oh, hey, yeah, you just had a kid?" Yeah, whole lot. I don't think it'll be that sudden, but I think it will be something where he winds up killing him, and claiming ownership of Winterfell, or if not Winterfell, then the Dreadfort. And shout out to Sweet YFT who just joined in. Yeah, so it's one of those things where when you think about villains in the story, now mind you, a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but a few people have been saying that Euron is gonna be worse. And don't get me wrong, Euron in the books is a maniacal bastard. He's done some crazy things, and I think maybe, I don't know that he's going to be worse on a personal level. He'll be worse more on a macro scale, in terms of like the things that he does will affect more people. But I think if you're talking about on a personal one-to-one, who is going to psychologically affect someone worse, I don't think you get any worse than Ramsay. I just don't, because here you have a guy who really is like, all right, I'm living by these Bolton words of trying to flay people. Like he's talking about skinning people alive. He's torturing people. He's burning kids. He's you know, starving people to death. You know, tricking people so that he can take them back to the Dreadfort and do whatever with him. He's sicking his dogs on them. You know, he's raping. I mean, like come on. Yes, Euron is out there. Raiding the Shield Islands and doing whatever he's doing. And like I said, it'll affect more people in terms of when people talk about like, okay, who did shit that fucked up the economy of Westeros or fucked up a village. Yes, they will talk about Euron, but if someone tells the tale of like, yo, this is what Ramsay did to me one on one, look at the scars I have. I'm missing fingers. He sliced the nipple off. He decided he was gonna only halfway castrate me as a joke. Like, come on, man. And then like, what he's got the bastards boys. Like, and then still, he got, like, one of them's got the craziest name, Damon Dance for Me. Which, I'm like, yo, he's just got his dudes just running around there doing all kinds of fucked up shit to people. But no one is as bad as him. Like I said, on a personal level, no one is as bad as him. Just on a one-to-one, I'm doing shit to fuck with your life. Like I said, Euron might come through and burn down a village, storm a castle or whatever, and it's like, hey, I'm giving those spoils. Okay, I cut out this person's tongue, but psychologically, I don't think anyone gets worse than Ramsay Bolton. And listen, when you can take out a whole army and make a king burn his daughter. I mean, come on, you gotta consider that guy a force to be reckoned with. You have to. Like, you can't not take that man seriously. You cannot. Oh man. All right, so we're at almost the half hour mark. I'm gonna start taking questions. Let me just throw this to the people in the chat. Let's see. If it will type. Alright. And let's bring up the chat. Whoa, and why am I not seeing the chat? This is no good. I must rectify this. And yes, Euron did rape his brothers. He did. Remember, Euron is an absolutely evil piece of shit. There is no denying this whatsoever. There we go. Yeah, there is no denying this whatsoever. But I just think that when we talk about personal level over a longer period of time, I gotta go with Ramsay. Now, we might find out that Euron has done worse things than we could possibly imagine, but for right now, Ramsay is number one on my list for psychological terror. Alright, so first question from Misha Houston. Do you like TV Euron? I'll be honest with you, last season I wasn't feeling TV Euron. And even in episode 1, I mean, like, I liked his little quippy back and forth thing where, come with 1,000 ships and 2 good hands. I was like, oh wow. I mean, like, he looked like he was auditioning for the Village People with that outfit on, and he was the master of guy liner, just all with that. But like, I think last episode, he proved why he was the man. Dude was crazy. He came through, and it's funny because they kind of gave him a little bit of Victorian, with the axe. I mean, and if you go back, that axe is phenomenal. Like, you're not getting much better than that damn axe. That axe was, woof, brutal. Had a little, the cracking scrawled on it and everything. So I was absolutely loving Euron in this last episode, and hopefully he'll get better. I mean, the actor who plays Euron said that he's gonna make Ramsay look like a little boy. So now with him taking Ilaria, Tyene, and Yara back to Cersei, I want to see what it is that he's going to do. I mean, you know what would be crazy? If Cersei is like, okay, Ilaria, you killed my daughter, you poisoned her, or whatever. But yeah, your daughter's death, you're gonna watch her die horribly. And Euron pulls out that axe and starts hacking away at Tyene right in front of Ilaria. Like that right there, that would be the one that would be like, yo, okay. Yeah, like that right there would be the one. Okay, let's see. Next up from Ricky Hunt. Is Ramsay just misunderstood? No, he is not. I think we understand that man perfectly. That motherfucker's crazy. Okay? Like, the dude just wants to, like, he wants to kill everything just to be killing shit. Like, there's no reason for him to be doing all of the crazy shit that he's doing right now. Absolutely no reason whatsoever why he needs to be doing any of that. Yeah, but he's oh hell nah, man. No, that shit is nah, he's not fucking misunderstood. Fuck that shit. Yo, Ricky, you wild for that question though. Alright, next one from Cat. Do you think Euron might have been poisoned by one of the sand snakes he killed? Like it's being said on other channels. I mean, I doubt it, because you got to think about it like this, right? Even though they're in the narrow sea, they had a night battle. You have Euron taking the sand snakes, or Tyene or whatever, and Ilaria back during the day. I'm pretty sure he's going to spend hours and hours parading through King's Landing. And remember, they weren't expecting an attack, so they might not always just have their weapons, coated with poison at all times. And besides, I don't think they're going to take out Euron like that. Euron needs to go out in very brutal and spectacular fashion the way that he came in. It can't just be, he gets into a fight, he gets scratched, and then a few episodes later, nah, that would be kind of weak. Euron needs to go out in an actual fight. So I don't think he got poisoned. The only thing I wish he would have had that Valyrian steel armor. And I mean, we could still see that. That shit would be crazy. If dude shows up with a full suit of Valyrian steel armor, I don't give a fuck what they do with the rest of the episode. That shit is getting a 10 just for the fact that they do that shit in there. And yes, like, you know what? As much as I say that I hate people dick riding the show, like, that has nothing to do with the show. That's all about them finally, like I'm like, all right, we're going to do this thing from the books that we know is absolutely awesome. So, oh, man. All right, so another one from Ricky. Will Ramsay kill Roose Bolton in the books? Roose seems too smart in my opinion. I think that he will kill him in the books. And honestly speaking, I think that, Boltons have this whole thing with ambition. Remember, the Boltons have really been trying to be the kings in the North for a while. It's just that Roose is the first dude who really was like, I see my shot, I'm gonna shoot it. And I think that he cultivated Ramsay with that with that kind of ambition as well. So for him, it's like, all right, well, cool. You know, if he takes, it's kind of like for those of you who watch Star Wars, you have the Sith rule of two, and the whole thing with the Sith rule of two is that when the apprentice gets strong enough, he's supposed to kill the master. And that's to make the Sith stronger, because it's like, yo, if you're not strong enough to kill a master, then how are you going to be able to defeat the entire Jedi Order? And that's kind of what, Ramsay has gotten from Roose. Is like, all right, well, yeah, you're my son or whatever, but, how do you expect to control the North if you can't even beat me? I think that's kind of the dynamic that they have. So yeah, Roose is kind of waiting for Ramsay to shoot his shot, and if Ramsay, doesn't wind up winning this one, Roose will be like, ah, man, I'm disappointed, very disappointed. I thought you were gonna be the one to beat me and take this whole thing over and really make the Bolton legacy strong. And honestly speaking, I think, Roose Bolton might already be dead, and we just haven't seen it yet. Because think about it like this, right? That whole pink letter situation with Ramsay addressing, like putting his Ramsay Bolton. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, someone in the chat, and shout out to Jake Cruz who just joined us. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember seeing anything about a royal decree for Ramsay in the book. So I mean, like, there might be a royal decree somewhere in the books that I've just forgotten about, but I do not remember seeing anything about a royal decree in the books. So think about it like that, because if Ramsay is calling himself Bolton and there is no royal decree, to me that means he probably then already killed Roose Bolton. And that's if the pink letter is from him. But think about it like this. In the show, when they sent that letter, that's how everybody found out that he was no, that's not how everybody found out. That's how everybody found out Roose was dead, but that's not how they found out about him being Ramsay Bolton. But I think you get my meaning though. Alright, so Ricky's just got questions after questions after questions, which is good. I'm trying to stretch this out for another 20 minutes. So alright, so will Fat Walter give birth and wins? Yeah, I think she's gonna wind up giving birth. Look, I think that even after that whole battle of Winterfell, I think that either Roose and or Ramsay will get away to the Dreadfort. Like, Ramsay most definitely, maybe Roose, but I think Fat Walter is gonna wind up getting away with them. And I think that once that baby is born, Ramsay is gonna wind up killing the kid, thinking to himself, like, yo, there's a legit Bolton out here, I just became legitimized. I'm not trying to lose my position. So Fat Walter's gonna give birth, and that baby gonna get killed. Period, point blank. Alright, so next up for Misha Houston. Will Cersei marry Euron? Um, I think she will accept his proposal. I don't think they'll actually get married, but I do think she will accept his proposal. Let's see here. And another one for Misha Houston. Is that a Baelish Mockingbird banner behind you? It is nice. Yes, it is. Hashtag Mockingbird for King. Hashtag King Bay. Yeah, man. Listen, for those of you who may not know, Peter Baelish is uh probably my favorite character from the books. In the show, not so much, at least not anymore. They've kind of made him really, really stupid as of late in the show. But in the books, he's one of my favorite characters, and I say specifically, just for his cunning, not necessarily for the acts that cunning has wrought. All right, so I don't want anybody to think that I was in favor of him killing Ned Stark or John Aaron or anything, but I like the fact that he's the dude that while everybody else, think about it, right? Right now, he is poised to take over a minimum of 3 of the 7 kingdoms with absolutely no armies whatsoever. Like, just, on some bullshit, like, okay, yeah, all right, cool. I'm getting people knocked off. I'm getting people to make the right alliances and the right moves that I want them to make. And yeah, he might be ready to take over the 7 kingdoms. And like I said, at least 3 of them with absolutely no armies. Like, yo, I didn't even have to fight for this. Everybody else is out there on the battlefield killing each other. I didn't have to waste a single man on any of this. I got everyone else to do all the work for me. That is what I like about Peter Baelish. Okay, let's see here. Um, Sweet asks, how could Sansa have gotten pregnant in the books? I don't know that Sansa will get pregnant in the books. Um, yeah, I don't know that she will get pregnant in the books. Follow up to that one. Let's see here. Will Harry the heir rape Sansa in the books? Um, that is a good question. I think he might attempt to rape her. Uh, I think he might attempt to, just on the fact that right now she's playing the part of Elaine Stone. So I think he might be on some more like, all right, well, you're a bastard. I'm a knight. I'm the heir to the veil. I'm entitled to whatever. You need to let me hit it, and I think he will attempt to rape her. I think he will fail, and I think it's going to wind up costing him his life. A lot of people think the Sweet Robin is going to die. I'm thinking it's going to be Harry the heir. And shout out to Jerry Targaryen Steamboat, and he's got a question. How salty is Ramsay about being a bastard? Ramsay is super salty about being a bastard. He is not the Salt King, but he is a Salt Prince. He does not hold the chest of many salts. He might have maybe 2 or 3 salts that he spreads around whenever he thinks about being a bastard, which is why he does all of that dirty shit he does. But not Salt King level. But yeah, he's really salty about being a bastard. I say on a scale of 1 to 10, I say he's at least a 7. He's at least a 7 worth salty about being a bastard. DJ, what's up, DJ? Who will kill Ramsay in the books, and when will this happen? So in the books, who will kill Ramsay? I think that Ramsay has to obviously be killed by a Northerner. Um, personally, I think it would be poetic for him to be killed by fake Arya, Jane Poole. With the assistance, yeah, with the assistance of Theon. I would like to see that happen. Sometime at the end of the Winds of Winter, or maybe towards the middle of Winds of Winter. Yeah, yeah, definitely. All right, so another one from Ricky. Uh, who do you think is the most overrated character? All right, so for overrated characters, if we're talking about the books, um, oh, shout out to DJ11. If we are talking about the books, uh, overrated character, and I know people aren't gonna like this one. I know there's probably gonna be someone who's gonna watch this later and immediate thumbs down, but Lord Eddard Stark. Uh, Ned Stark to me gets too much credit for shit he hasn't really earned, in my opinion. You know, I understand he was a conflicted man. I understand he was not the strongest leader. But yeah, I think Ned Stark, at least in the books, way too overrated, in my opinion. For the show, someone who's overrated. Oh man, overrated for the show. I don't know. Might have to come back to that one. Yeah, I might have to come back to that one. All right, so let's see. Let's see here. From Cat, do you think Littlefinger may have any regrets? Let's see here. Now, you know what? I don't think Littlefinger has any regrets as long as it leads to his goal. I think he will only have a regret once he's going out the moon door. And I'm hearing a lot of people saying that they think Sansa will kill Littlefinger this season or have him killed. Look, for me, and I'm going on record as saying this now. So this is what day is it? This is July 22nd, Thursday, July 22nd, 8:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If the Hound does not somehow inform either Arya or Sansa of what happened in that throne room, and he's just killed on some random shit, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that that he betrayed Ned, I'm giving that episode a 1. Period, point blank. If that information has not been conveyed, that episode gets a 1. All right, let's see here. So from Jerry the Targaryen, Steamboat, what would Ramsay do with 20 good salt shakers? With 20 good salt shakers, I think he would make sure that no crops grow in any field across Westeros whatsoever. I mean, think about it. With 20 good men, he was able to destroy an entire army's food supply. So I think with 20 good salt shakers, especially if he's got high quality premium rock salt, like Himalayan, like the Himalayan pink, or maybe the Persian blue salt or something like that. Yeah, he's making sure nobody eats whatsoever. No crops are growing. Period. Point blank. The reach is done for. Done for. Oh man. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Okay, so from Misha Houston, could the pink letter be foreshadowing of the Battle of Ice? Could Reek escape Stannis? Um. So here's the thing. All right. So the pink letter. The pink letter, I think, is either a clever deception or whoever wrote the pink letter believed that Stannis actually died. And I think that because they believed it and other people believe it too, that there were going to be some events that happened because of that. And, I'll get into the rest of that another time. Could Reek escape Stannis? Yeah, I think that during the battle, things actually will look bad for Stannis at one point, and that at that point, Reek will escape. And you know what? I think it's possible that, like what we saw happen with the whole Euron thing, that Asha, is held up by somebody and thinking that Theon is going to save her. And Theon's like, what do we say to the god of death? Not today. All right, from DJ11. Let's see. Do you think Varys sent the note to Jorah to save Dany? I think it was Ned. And shout out to Scout Tiny Productions. So here is the thing, right? So I don't think that anyone sent a note to Jorah about, like, hey, they're gonna poison Daenerys. What I'm thinking happened, was Jorah saw that pardon and thought to himself, all right, I got this pardon here on the road. Obviously, if I got this pardon, then that means that they're gonna wind up killing Daenerys. Because if I'm not mistaken, Viserys was already dead at that time. So yeah, it's gonna be one of those things where, he's looking at it in terms of, okay, Robert Baratheon and Varys the Spider are not just gonna leave Daenerys alive. I actually do like Daenerys now. I need to find out what they're doing. And when he sees the wine merchant, it's like, oh, hold on. We have a Westerosi wine merchant here. And he's talking about, hey, I got, oh no, oh, you're the mother of dragons, or not the mother of dragons, but you're the Khaleesi. Yeah, no, forget about this other wine. Have this special wine. This wine is just for you. So yeah, I think that because look, remember something. Books versus show, totally different. But I think that initially it was still going to be the same thing, because they still got to find a way for Jorah to get exiled by Daenerys. And also think about it like this. Based on the last episode, if Varys would have sent the note to Daenerys, to Jorah about Daenerys, I'm pretty sure Varys would have said, "Hey, I told Jorah to save you." And if it were Ned, first off, Ned does not like Jorah Mormont. Ned was still sitting there waiting to behead Jorah Mormont. All right, so and Ned is all Mister. I'm so righteous, this, that, and the third. So no, I don't think he would have he wouldn't have sent that just based off the fact that he was like, yeah, when soon as Jorah gets back, I'm fucking chopping his head off. So nah, I don't think Ned sent that. All right, all right. So from Ricky Hunt, is it possible that Ned escaped Med Stannis and they collaborated on the Pink Letter? I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it. I don't know much more to say than that, man. I doubt it. All right, so from Scout Tiny Productions, what's that? Teeny, teeny, tiny. I don't know. Do you think we might see both Castle Rock and High Garden fall at the same time? Very possible. You know, you got Jamie and the Lannister soldiers at High Garden, while Tyrion and the Unsullied and all, well, not Tyrion, but the the Unsullied are going after Castle Rock. Yeah, we can see both of them falling at the same time in the same episode. That would be pretty interesting. That would be a very action-packed episode if that all that happened in the same episode too. All right, from Brandon Parker. Let's see here. Will Mance Raider reveal he's Arthur Dayne after Battle Ice? No. Look, I know there are a few people who have the theory about Mance Raider being Arthur Dayne, and they've given some pretty compelling evidence. But here's the thing, right? Mance Raider has a backstory that can be verified by way too many people for him to be a totally different character, but especially Arthur Dayne. Because, you know, the question is, how did he get to the North, join the Night's Watch, and then desert the Night's Watch? You know, because, yeah, again, with the whole Mance Raider thing, he has way too much of a backstory. So no, I don't think that he's Arthur Dayne. All right. I saw something about Rhaegar. Okay, nah. Yeah, Rhaegar's dead. Rhaegar is dead. Sorry. Let's see here. Oh, Scout Tiny Productions. I've been saying Scout Tiny Productions for all this time. Sorry about that. Stanny Barath. Oh wow, that is an awesome name, and that is actually a pretty awesome avatar. All right, so we got any more questions? Because if not, then I will wrap this up. You know, it's been about an hour. That's normally what I do with these, unless I just have so many overwhelming questions that I need to do more. But I would like to thank everybody who has jumped in today. You know, it's funny because like I made sure to do this on a day where most of the people who usually live streaming that I associate with were on a different day, and now all of a sudden I'm seeing like there's a flood of people coming on Thursday the same time as me. I'm like, really? First I had people try to Bogart me out of Sundays. Now I got people trying to Bogart me out of Thursdays too. God damn it, I am not fucking moving, alright? I picked the days when you people weren't on. So I don't want to hear shit about, oh, well, you know, maybe you should move to another day. Fuck that. Alright? I picked days when people weren't on to begin with. Oh, man. Next thing you know, when we're doing a damn reread on Hype Swatch channel, they're going to be like, yeah, well, maybe you shouldn't pick. I'm like, oh, no. Nope. We've been doing the Hype Swatch rereads on Saturdays for like the past, fucking 3 years, man. Not doing that shit. Alright, let's see here. Alright, so I guess this will be the last question. From Kat. Which was your favorite part of episode 2? Let's see here. Favorite part in episode 2. I'm gonna have to go with the sea battle. Euron versus everyone. The dude came in like a wrecking ball. Oh man, I can't believe I just quoted that fucking song. Yeah, he came in like a wrecking ball. uh, yeah, I mean, listen, man, he came through. He destroyed everything. He made Theon jump off the boat. He impaled one of the sand snakes, choked the other one to death with her own whip. Just wreaking all kinds of havoc, all kinds of damn havoc. You know, um, so yeah, how could you not love that scene? It's like if you ever doubted the badassness of Euron, I think that was one reason right there to be like, you know what, Euron is the man. All hell, Euron, King of the Iron Islands. At least for this one episode. We'll see what happens if he becomes more badass later. But for right now, Euron, King of the Iron Islands, doing his damn thing. You already know what it is. Oh man. Hey. DJ11, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Closet Miley. Hey, you god damn it. Okay, so let's see. Ricky Hunt, most underrated character in A Song of Ice and Fire. Man, most underrated character. I mean, for one, now this might be kind of controversial, but I think Brandon is kind of an underrated character. And he was a character that I actually underrated for a very long time because, like, his chapters, upon first read, when you're not really, when you're just reading it, you're not, looking for all the clues and taking in the full scope of what it is that's happening with him. His chapters come off as boring as fuck, especially in A Dance with Dragons. When you first read it, it's kind of like, oh god, really? More stories and more talking and more. But then when you go back and you read it and you analyze and you break down like what is happening with this man or this boy, it's like, yo, this shit is wild. This shit is just fucking like what? Yo, man, Bran, to me, very underrated character. In my opinion, the dude is yeah, man. I think he has so much more that is going to, like, once it all gets fulfilled, like once all of his stuff comes to fruition with his powers. Excuse me. Yeah, with his powers, the things that he has affected in the past that we will find out, other than just the Hodor thing. Uh, what's in store for him for the future? Yeah, I think that Bran will become I'm not gonna say he will become overrated later, but I think he will get his just due later on. Once Winds of Winter and Dream of Spring come out. Um Now, see, I don't know if this character is underrated, but I would love to see if there's a lot more to him. Like, I would love to see if on the low he's like an expert swordsman, and that is Peter Baelish. Like, think about it, right? He's the dude that's never really had to do any kind of fighting. He's a master manipulator, you know. But think about it like this, right? If you had lost a sword battle, almost got yourself killed when you were a teenager. Now here it is, maybe like your early and mid 30s or whatever. Now nobody's really actually testing you, but a lot, like, everyone knows, it is famous that you got, sliced from navel to collarbone. You got a crazy long scar going, all the way up to here, right? Imagine imagine if through all that time Littlefinger has become one of the nicest swords in all of Westeros without people knowing. You know, like, think about it like this, right? And I'll take it back to Star Wars. Like, a lot of people don't like the prequels or whatever. But if you think about something, Palpatine, the Emperor, he's somebody that we never really saw do anything. Like, he only has a few, like, action scenes. Everything else is him talking and doing, manipulating, and all this other shit, and him not even being the super tough guy. And then next thing you know, he's got 4 Jedi Knights that roll up on him. He cuts 3 of them down like nothing, and then, he almost takes out Mace Windu, but Mace Windu gets the better of him. And then you gotta think about, like, towards the end of Return of the Jedi, when you see the original trilogy, we didn't see the Emperor do anything, and then he just pops up and starts hitting Luke with lightning. It was like, holy shit! And I think that could be Littlefinger. Littlefinger could be that dude that people just like, oh yeah, he's just the dude that gets slept on, and then the next thing he's chopping down like 3 or 4 dudes, and just like, holy shit, like, who knew? So I would love to see that. I think that would be awesome. Thank you to John Convert. Yeah, okay. So from Cat, we got, what do you say will be Littlefinger's fate? Now, me as, someone who is a detective, an investigator, someone who has to analyze stuff for a living and bring it to its logical conclusion. Look, and this is why I say, like, if they don't do this in the show, I'm giving that episode a 1. I don't give a fuck if I get 8 trillion thumbs down. The whole key to Littlefinger's downfall must be that the knowledge of him betraying Ned Stark is passed on to Sansa. Now, if you're talking about the books, I don't know how Sansa would find out in the books, only because currently she's still in the Vale, and it's not known how she would find out. But I think she needs to find out not from Littlefinger, obviously. B, when she finds out, I think she needs to hold on to that knowledge for a little while. C, she needs to manipulate Sweet Robin. D, she needs to manipulate Littlefinger, get him into the throne room in the Eyrie, and then D, once the manipulation is done, what, D, E? I'm not even sure which one I got up to, but point is, after she's done with manipulating Sweet Robin's gotta, tell the guards to make the bad man fly. Now, what I think, in a sense, season 6 has been doing a lot of callbacks. I think a perfect way to cap off the Littlefinger Sansa thing would be Littlefinger leaves, right? You know, he tries to manipulate Sansa. Sansa's not trying to hear it. And he's like, look, you know what? Fuck it. You're the queen in the north. You say you don't need me either. That means you don't need my forces. I'm going back to the Vale. Bang. Sansa is still having problems. Whatever. Jon comes back. Sansa's like, yo, you know what? I think I'm going to go to the Vale or whatever. On the way to the Vale, she finds out about, or right before she leaves to go to the Vale, she finds out from the Hound about what happened in the throne room. She goes back. Littlefinger's like, oh, you know, I knew you would come, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And then, you know, at the end of it, you know, like they're standing by the moon door, and Sansa tells Littlefinger, I've only ever loved one man, only one, only Ned. Boom, pushes him out the moon door. Done. To me, that would be a perfect way to wrap everything up, to you know, get Littlefinger out of here in a very satisfying way, that even if it doesn't happen exactly like that in the books, I think that that's the way that it should go down. But that's just me personally. And again, if either Sansa or Arya does not find out that Littlefinger betrayed Ned, and especially when Littlefinger just told Jon, I delivered his bone, like Ned's bones, to Catelyn myself. Like, come on, you can't throw stuff in there like that and then just say, oh, Sansa just been manipulating Littlefinger all this time. Hey, Arya, kill him. You're like, for what? You know. So yeah, there has to be a way, some way that they find out that that information before Littlefinger dies. Like, Littlefinger can't die without them finding out that information first. But that's just me. And I know I done rambled on and on and on about that one. Alright, so for Misha Houston, will Euron die this season or in the next? Will he see the White Walkers? I think Euron dies next season, pretty early, probably battling against the White Walkers. Because Euron wants to be king. So, he doesn't want to be king of nothing. But, yo, you know what I could see them doing? Here's what I could see them doing. They might not kill Euron. And this might sound crazy, but let me explain. So, in the books, there is a guy by the name of Orain Waters, who Cersei likes, thinks that he looks like Rhaegar, gives him a fleet of ships because he's supposed to help defend against whoever is going to try to invade from the sea. Your man takes off with the ships and becomes a pirate king. So I could see Euron, I could see them giving that plot to Euron. Like, things are about to go down for Cersei. Euron is sitting up there like, yo, army, I could fuck with this whole army of the dead shit right now, or I could, you know, say fuck Westeros and sail off and be the king of fucking Valeria or whatever. I could see them doing that with Euron rather than killing him. But I think with the horrible shit that Euron might wind up doing, that he's gonna need to die. Let's see here. So Jake is wondering what Littlefinger's thoughts are on the White Walkers. And see, here's the thing, for the book to the show, since they've kind of compressed things, I think in the books, not only does Littlefinger not know about the White Walkers, and if, you know, like, his plan hinges on the non-magical stuff. So not only does he not know about the White Walkers, I think that he probably wouldn't even believe about the White Walkers in the books. For the show, I still don't think that he believes about the White Walkers. Like, yeah, he hears Jon talking, but you notice he hasn't said anything about, yeah, I've kept the veil here to help you fight against, the White Walkers or anything. He hasn't mentioned the White Walkers at all. He's still focused on getting the damn Iron Throne. So, yeah, man, Littlefinger has no thoughts on the White Walkers other than, yeah, whatever you need to think, Jon. Yeah, whatever you need to think in order for me to get you out of here so I can get on the Iron Throne. Let's see here. You know what? Oh man. Alright, so Ricky thinks that Euron might become the book version of the Night King. And the book is possible. Because he talks about like making an heir worthy of him. Who is him? I think him is the great other. So I could see him becoming, the book version of the Night King, especially with all this crazy shit he's been doing. He's got the Valyrian steel armor, all that stuff. So it's possible he could become the book version of the Night King. Let's see. Misha says that Ned didn't care about his own life. This is very true. Ned did not care about his own life. Look, man, you know what? Fuck it. Next week, I'm talking Ned Stark. Yeah. Next week, I'm talking Ned Stark. I'm expecting massive amounts of thumbs down on that video. I'm expecting people who come by just to give a thumbs up, probably without watching the actual live stream or the video afterward. But I'm expecting people who will actually be watching the video to give that particular video a thumbs down. And I'm actually surprised that more people didn't give my Rhaegar video a thumbs down, but I think they knew I was telling the truth about Rhaegar. And hopefully, if you guys see that I'm telling the truth about Ned, that you'll give it a thumbs up. But if not, it's all good. Like I said, I know Ned is a popular character, and a lot of people like Ned, but I'm not a fan of Ned Stark, and not for the reasons that most people think. Let's see here. From DJ11, will a dragon lay more eggs before this is over? I don't think any of the dragons need to lay any more eggs. I think that they need to figure out a way to hatch the dragons. To hatch the eggs. I just think they need to figure out a way to hatch the eggs. You know what, Jake? I liked Ned before I read the books as well. And then going back and rewatching the show again, I was like, yo, this dude, man, like, really, bruh, really? Yeah, so, I don't know. Shout out to Joe Swag. Man. Let's see here. So, Ricky, look, it's not that I hate Ned. Let me get that straight. It's not that I hate Ned. I hate Catelyn. I don't hate Ned. I dislike Ned, because listen, Ned. I'll no, I'm not. I'll give my opinion on Ned when I give my opinion on Ned. All right, that's when you get my opinion on Ned when you get my opinion on him. But oh man, and shout out to all the people who have given this video a thumbs up. And even shout out to the excuse me, to the one degenerate eunuch who came to give us a thumbs down. Hope you get grayscale with your bitch ass. Alright, so question from John Covert. Will Team Dragon's plan become known as Team Lion because Euron. Oh, will their plans become known to Team Lion because you're could they be planning a trap? Yo, you know what? That is I don't know. Damn, man. Here's the thing, right? So they got Ilaria, they got man. Well, see, and here's the problem with a lot of the stuff that they do on the show, unfortunately. Right? When they compress time and they just say, okay, this thing happened and then this other thing happened, and they don't give you how much time is in between whatever it is that happened. Because you got to figure, okay, for the Unsullied to get the Casterly Rock, there's only two ways that they're getting there. Either they got to go by land, which means they're cutting across Westeros, which technically I guess would be the faster way, but they got to have ships. They got to have the ships to ferry them from Dragonstone to the mainland, right? And real quick, I'm gonna bring up a map of Westeros, at least for me to see, so this way I can try to plot it out for you guys as to how this would go. And all right, let's bring up a map here and see what the hell Dragonstone is. Give me 1 sec, it's still loading. Alright, so if they're on Dragonstone and they come to if they're on Dragonstone and come to the mainland, they can hit Rook's Rest and try to travel west. But see, if they're going through, because I'm guessing this is the Crown Lands. If they're going through the Crown Lands, they're going to wind up hitting Lannister soldiers. And this also means that they're going through the Riverlands and then trying to travel south in order to, unless they're going to cross the mountains in order to get to Casterly Rock. So they got a bunch of forces in the way that they're going to have to try to get through, to fight their way through just to get to Casterly Rock. The other way takes them out into the narrow sea, all the way down and around to past Dorne, around and around and around almost the entire, well, no, around the entire southern part of Westeros in order to come back around to Casterly Rock. The question is, how long is that supposed to take them? How long is that supposed, like, how long is that journey? That journey seems like it should take a long time. You know, possibly maybe even a few months. Well, maybe not a few months, but it should take them a long time. That's not going to be just some easy thing for them to do. You know, yeah, so I don't know. That I'm not sure that happens. I'll be honest with you. Or no, not sure that it happens, but it's just the, again, the way that they don't explain how travel works or how long it takes to get from place to place. Yeah, it kind of messes things up. And I'm pretty sure I went off on a crazy tangent, but will they find out about the plan? I don't think they care about the plan at this point. Euron might be ready to go attack Dragonstone, so I don't even think the plan matters. Shout out to Kim McKay, all the way from New Zealand in the future. It's Friday where he is right now, so future to us. All right, let's see. From Misha Houston, will the seas freeze? Probably. Like, well, see, here's the thing. Um, so you have the whole thing with whatchamacallit, like people have been pointing out that it looks like the Shivering Sea next to where Eastwatch is now frozen in the beginning, like in the intro for season 7 for Game of Thrones. So the question is it freezing naturally, or is it because the White Walkers are marching closer to that part of the wall? I I don't know. Oh, and shout out to my man Nex from Game of Theories. Next, what's going on, bro? We gotta talk, man. If you're not subscribed to Game of Theories, check out that man's channel. Man's channel is awesome. He just hit me up with a super chat. So his question is: do you think Varys might be informing on Daenerys? Nah. I don't think he's informing on Daenerys. Only because he never liked Robert Baratheon. I'm pretty sure he doesn't like the Lannisters. So I can't see him informing on Daenerys. Because I mean, look, I was so pissed off that they cut out Aegon, from the show, because I thought that it left a massive plot hole with the whole thing about him trying to kill Daenerys. Now I've heard people speculate that, and next I think it might have been your video that I saw, or maybe someone else's, where people speculated that we might still get Aegon in the show now. So that would be kind of crazy. Um, in the books, I don't think he's informing on Daenerys. Again, I think in the book he's totally Team Aegon. He wants Aegon on the throne. He's gonna make the moves that he needs to get him there. So yeah. Um but yeah, okay, so Cersei knowing their movements in the show now. Uh yeah, I mean, look, he captured two of the three people who were at the council meeting. So I would imagine that that Cersei knows uh based off of that. But I mean, like, but here's the thing though, right? So the fact that Euron captured them in the Narrow Sea, even if Yara and Ilaria don't give up any information whatsoever, it's still an issue where it's like, okay, I captured you in the Narrow Sea. Obviously, you're going somewhere with those ships. And I'm pretty sure Euron will be able to posit out some of it from there without even having to get any information from him. Like, look, I already know you're at Dragonstone. We can guess that sooner or later you're gonna be coming. Now, whether or not they know about the plot for Casterly Rock, that's a totally different thing. And it actually could be a thing where where they got that information out of one of them, like, yeah, they're going to Casterly Rock. Any Unsullied could be taken by surprise. I mean, personally, I think that Grey Worm is going to die. I don't want Grey Worm to die, but I think Grey Worm is a dead man. So, shout out to Grey Worm. You were a pretty dope fighter, but sorry, Playboy, you dead. And shout out to Septuagina's Sapphires. And also Greggy 003 for coming in the chat. Alright, let me make sure I haven't missed any questions here. I want to, be respectful to everyone who was asked a question here. Another one from Ricky Hunt. Will Jon Snow kill Euron in the books? In Jon's dream, he's fighting the White Walkers. He appears to be wearing armor similar to Euron. Alright, so I'll be honest with you, right? So, before the Forsaken chapter got released, and I was actually gonna do a video on this before, and then that Forsaken chapter came out and just totally fucked everything up for me. I was thinking about Jon's vision where he's armored in black ice with a blazing sword, fighting against the White Walkers on top of the wall. I was like, yo, it would be dope if Jon Snow finally got like some kind of new power where, he comes back, he's kind of got a touch of the White Walkers' power in him, and he's able to armor himself in black version of the ice armor that the White Walkers wear. But then that Forsaken chapter came and just totally shot down my damn theory. So, oh man. Let's see here. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if Qyburn took over all the little birds, but he's taken over enough of them. And I'll be quite honest with you. I was disappointed in the fact that Qyburn only came up with a damn scorpion, bolt or whatever. He came up with a ballista. They used the ballista 200 years ago or almost 300 years ago when they killed Meraxes. I'm like, this is a mad scientist. They have wildfire. They rig the scepter to blow up a wildfire. Your man does all these kind of experiments. We should have gotten gunpowder. Yo, imagine how game changing that would have been. The great equalizer to dragons being either gunpowder or some kind of weapon that uses wildfire, but like there's some kind of firearm to go against Daenerys. That would have been a great equalizer, and I think we need that. Like just to show, like, yo, okay, Daenerys, you think you hot shit? Qyburn came up with a cannon. So I was disappointed that all we got was a ballista. Ballista is old news. Qyburn's supposed to be thinking up the future. Qyburn is only reaching for the past and just doing the same shit from before. So, alright, so from Ida Niles, you think Littlefinger will die this season? I think it is possible that he dies this season, and I've talked about this earlier. If he doesn't die in what I would consider the most logical way, I am giving that episode a 1, and I don't care what anybody says about it. I'm putting that out there right now. If it's just on some bullshit where Sansa is just mad at him, and I'm tired of you manipulating me, die, Littlefinger, fuck that. No. Littlefinger's treachery must be revealed. You have to reveal the man's treachery so that people will know, like, hey, okay, Littlefinger is fuckboy number 1, and he deserves to die, and whatever happens to him, it's all good then. Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh man, so this is a funny question. All right, so DJ11, this question about the Ravens here is like, how will the Ravens descend for Jon? Who's feeding them? Dragonstone is empty. Yo, yeah, listen, man. At this particular point, I'm not even asking those questions anymore. I'm just gonna look. I want you to go to my episode 2 review. I'm just gonna point here. Go to my episode 2 review and watch that. I'm pointing here to this banner. Alright, if you go to my episode 2 video and watch that that thing right there, you'll know exactly why I'm just pointing to this banner. Alright. Let's see, from Greggy 003, why didn't Ed send a Raven to Winterfell to inform Jon about Bran? It probably will get there like right after Jon left. Let's see. All right, so let's see here. DJ11, will Jon bend the knee? I don't think Jon is gonna bend the knee. I think Jon is gonna be like, yo, I didn't come here for all that shit, okay? My people made me king in the north. I'm not bending my knee to you right now. I need this motherfucking dragon glass. I need these fucking dragons. You about that bullshit. We can talk about bending the knee after we win the fucking war. It's not gonna matter if I'm not the king in the north, if we all die. So I don't think so. Let's see, for Ricky. Seriously though, why doesn't the whole North question why Jon was able to lead the Night's Watch? I mean, they all accept the whole resurrection thing. Yeah, apparently they do. Yeah, Hey, damn it, next. You listen. Stop throwing shade on Littlefinger. Yeah, Grey Worm is a dead man. Throw Samir. I hope doesn't die. Olenna probably gonna die. Because Diana Reed getting old anyway. Let's see here, man. Shout out to Next though, man. Yo, you know what? I'd love to have you on one of the after shows if possible. I know you're in England, and by that time it's probably like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So I don't even know if you're up at the time when we're doing the after shows. But if you are, man, I'd love to have you on. And yeah, also, if there's anybody out there who like to participate in the Hype Watch after show for Game of Thrones, holla at me. We'll see if we can get you on. We are looking for guests. We're welcoming people. But listen, for real though, the one thing we will not accept, and I don't know if you guys can hear that as a plane flying overhead right now. Yeah, the one thing we will not accept, and shout out to my man AJ. Um, we will not accept dick riding of the show. You can't just come in and just say, "Oh, the episode was a 10 just because it's Game of Thrones." We will not accept that. Other people might do that. We at the Watch do not accept just blind dick riding. All right. Let's see. So, yes, DJ11. This is Mockingbird banner. And hold on, let me see. Let me make sure that you guys can see this. There you go. All right. Yeah, that is kind of weird though that the Mockingbird, like that Baelish's banner, is the same color as the Baratheons. I thought it should be green, but you know, I and I bought this from the HBO store, so this is official. What HBO is putting out there is Littlefinger's banner with the colors and all that. All right, let's see. From Ricky Hunt, what is Theon's endgame in the books and show? Look, Theon has to go out as a noble sacrifice because of what he did to the Starks when the Starks treated him as better family than his own family did. Theon must die in some sort of noble sacrifice. Let's see here. Okay, from Greggy 003. Will Sam become a warden of the South once Tarly's and Lannisters fall? No. I think Sam, if he doesn't become a Grand Maester, he will come up with some new kind of scholarly order. Yeah, some new kind of scholarly order. Let's see here. Okay, and people in the chat room are asking right now, what is all this talk about about dick riding? So look, all right, so let me explain this for you guys out there. Look, me as someone who does this kind of content, I try to give my most honest opinion. And unfortunately, there are people out there who do not give you their honest opinion. They just say it's Game of Thrones, so it must be great. And good night, cat. All right. And so that doesn't mean that you can't like the show. It doesn't mean you can't like certain characters or certain aspects. But we're not looking for sheep. You know, when I go look at channels who do Game of Thrones material or Song of Ice and Fire material, you know, I like when they point out inconsistencies. You know, I like when someone can say, "Look, you know what? This thing wasn't as good as it's been done before." You know, so you got dudes out there that uh you got dudes out there who, like, let's put it like this. If you got somebody who gave an episode excuse me, an episode like Battle of the Bastards a 10 or The Winds of Winter a 10, and they also gave an episode like No One a 10, or what is the last episode of season 5? Or not, forget about the last episode of season 5, the first episode of season 6. If they're giving like the first episode of season 6 and then also the last episode of season 6 a 10, then yo, to me that person lacks integrity, because they're saying that two episodes that clearly are not on par with quality deserve the same rating. And that, for me, it comes off as dick riding. You know, like, it's okay. Like I said, it's okay to like the show. It's okay to say when the show is dope. When the show is the shit, I make sure to give it high marks. You know, but I am not going to. Yeah, I'm not gonna give something a rating that it doesn't deserve because I want people to come and like my videos, or I think that I'm going to get more subscribers because, you know, I said the show was awesome all the damn time. Because no, that's not the truth. Look, I did two videos. In fact, I made one, the case for Dan and Dave. I made the other case against Dan and Dave. The case for Dan and Dave, it's a 10-minute long video. The case for against Dan and Dave, 20-minute video, and that was me chopping things down. Like, I had people in my comment section writing like whole paragraphs of like shit that they wanted me to rip the show apart about, and I was like, no, I didn't even make those videos to I didn't make the videos to be like, hey, you know, this is super great, or this is or say the show is garbage. You know, I made them to give my honest opinion on things that I thought the show did correctly, and sometimes even better than the books, and to give my opinion on stuff that I thought that didn't go so well, and also things that they totally fucked up on. And I'm starting to get a little bit of a flood here. So you know, shout out to some of the newer people who just popped in the chat right now. Got Tadpole, we got my man Tony Tucker, Lord of the Last Hearth. I see spots. Man. And you know, it's funny, this is way longer than I expected it to be. A lot of this is more Q&A than it is about Ramsay Bolton. But just to touch on the comparison to the numbers, and I'm gonna go to it right now just so I can see exactly what the numbers were for the case for and the case against Dan and Dave, because one of them's got like almost 8,000 views, and the other one that hasn't even touched 2,000 views. And I got 2,500 subscribers, and nobody's checking for the case for Dan and Dave right now. So let's just check this out here. Oh wow, okay. I didn't got an explosion okay, so the case against Dan and Dave, which I renamed based on people, based on some advice I got from another YouTuber. I renamed the video. 9,000 views. The case for Dan and Dave, 1,489 views. So I'm just gonna say here, like, and again, this is me giving my honest opinions on all of this stuff. This is not me, trying to placate to anybody. And that just goes to show you, I guess, what people are liking more, what they think is more relevant. All right, so let's get back to questions. Let's get back to questions. Let's get back to questions. All right, so from Greggy003, do you think if the Night King falls, the whole army goes down with him? Yes, most definitely. Most definitely. If the Night King, if the Night King himself falls, I think not only does the army of whites fall, I think the White Walkers themselves might fall. Like, he might be the power source even for the other White Walkers. Let's see here. From Misha Houston, which is your favorite battle? Hardhome, Battle Blackwater, Battle Castle Black, Battle of the Bastards, Battle Marine. Favorite battle? Gotta go with Blackwater. Blackwater was not only my favorite battle, but it's in like my top 5 episodes of Game of Thrones. Period, point blank. Yeah, man. Definitely. Alright. I'm gonna run this up until 10 o'clock, which 5 more minutes for me, and then I'm done for. This is like, I only wanted this to be actually an hour. Wound up staying 2. Oh my god. And you know what? I'm gonna rename this. Let's see. And Q&A plus. Hold on 1 second, people. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. Hopefully it saves now. Alright, Alright. In fact, yeah, if that's all for questions, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, because it appears that people are done with the questions for right now. But I do thank everyone for stopping by, and chatting with me. Yeah, I do stop everyone. I do thank everyone who stopped by to chat with me. It has been great fun. This is a lot longer than I expected, and I was actually supposed to be working on another video right now. Oh man. Let's see here. Very last question. Very, very, very last question, and then I'm gonna call it a wrap. So it's like, how did the bolts from Blackwater disintegrate but not melt Davos' face? Pretty much he was under the water. That's what it was. He was under the water the entire time. So there you go. That's how how his face did not melt. Anyway, look, I will be back next week with another one of these, and like I said, it will be Ned Stark. Ned Stark is the next one. All right. So this way you guys prepared. Remember, 8 o'clock Eastern. And who knows, it might wind up being another 2 hours. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. All right. So, I'd like to thank everyone who showed up tonight live, and thank you to everyone who will watch this later. Hail Hydra as always. Got a dab on them like always, And look, you already know the deal for the rest. Rate, comment, subscribe, share. Tell your friends to come back for more. That has been my time, and this is Don Willie saying, Vala Dohiris.